Sometimes in life we meet strangers who seem to be lost and out of place. But have you ever met someone who doesn't belong not just to another place, but to another time? This story is inspired by the bizarre case of Rudolph Fentz. But before we begin, if you love eerie tales inspired by true events or real places told by firelight, hit subscribe and help out a brother. Your support means the world. I still remember the night it happened. The night the impossible walked into my life. It was a cold evening in June 1950, and I was patrolling near Times Square. The city was alive with neon lights and the hum of late-night traffic. Then, out of nowhere, I saw him. A man stood frozen in the middle of the street, his eyes wide with terror. He was dressed like something out of an old photograph. A brown tweed suit, a high-collared shirt, and a bowler hat. His mustache was thick, curled at the ends in a style that hadn't been fashionable in 50 years. Cars swerved around him, horns blaring. He flinched at the noise, stumbling backward as if the world itself had betrayed him. I rushed over, grabbing his arm before a taxi could clip him. "Hey pal, you alright?" His breath came in ragged gasps. Where am I?" "Times Square," I said. "You hit your head or something?" He stared at the glowing advertisements, the towering buildings, the stream of automobiles. His face went pale. "This isn't right. This isn't possible." Then, before I could stop him, he bolted. I chased him down Broadway, shouting for him to stop, but the man ran like the devil himself was after him. He dodged pedestrians, nearly getting flattened by a bus before vanishing into an alley. When I finally caught up, he was crouched against a brick wall, shaking. "Listen, mister," I said, keeping my voice calm. "You're in New York City. It's June 1950. You need help?" His eyes locked onto mine. 1950? No, that can't be. It was just 1876. I was walking home from the tavern, and then... He clutched his head. There was a strange light, a sound like thunder. I frowned. Either this guy was drunk, insane, or... No, that was impossible. But then I noticed something else. His clothes weren't just old-fashioned. They were pristine, like they'd never seen a day's wear. And in his pocket, I spotted a faded business card. Rudolph Fentz, 5th Avenue, New York. I knew every street in the city. There was no 5th Avenue address like that. I brought him to the station, hoping someone could make sense of him. But the more he talked, the less sense he made. He spoke of President Grant as if he were still in office. He'd never heard of World War I, let alone II. And when we checked his pockets, we found coins dated 1876 mint condition, as if freshly pressed. The captain thought it was a prank, some rich kid's idea of a joke, he muttered. But I wasn't so sure. Then, while we were booking him, Fentz saw his reflection in the glass partition. He let out a choked cry. "That's not me," he whispered. I'm old." I looked at him. He was a man in his 30s, but his eyes... They held the terror of someone who had just seen a ghost. We put him in a holding cell for the night. The next morning, he was gone. No broken locks, no open doors, just vanished. The only thing left behind was his bowler hat. I spent weeks digging into his name. Finally, in an old archive, I found a newspaper clipping from 1876. Missing. Rudolph Fentz, last seen leaving a tavern near Broadway. Authorities suspect foul play. The description matched perfectly. But that would mean, no, it couldn't be. Years passed. I never told anyone what I saw. Who would believe me? Then, in 1970, an old man approached me in a diner. He wore a familiar brown tweed suit. "Officer," he said, his voice trembling, "do you remember me?" My blood ran cold. It was Fentz, but aged 50 years overnight. "It happened again," he whispered. "The light. The noise. I was back in 1876 for just a moment." Then, poof! I was here. He grabbed my wrist. I don't belong in this time. And I think I never will. Before I could respond, he stood abruptly, walking out into the street. By the time I reached him, he was gone. Did you like that story? If you meet someone from the past, what kind of questions would you ask? This is a fictional account based on an urban legend some people believe to be true.